This was during the Vietnam War. An enemy hidden behind a tree pointed the tip of his gun toward me and was about to kill me. Without realizing it, I walked forward, and only 3 meters away, our eyes met. My gun wasn't pointed at him because he had surprised me so suddenly. Even though my gun was superior to his, I didn't have time to aim. For an hour, the enemy had been waiting deliberately with his gun ready because he knew we would come to their territory. At that moment, I called out to God and begged him to save me. God responded, "Love." It was surely the voice of God. However, even though I knew it was his voice, the message was so tremendous that I had doubts. God was teaching me the way to live, telling me I had to love the enemy in order to survive. It was such a profound message, entirely different from my own thoughts. Because he was telling me to love when the enemy was pointing his gun at me, I questioned, how can I go when the enemy is pointing his gun at me? God, if I go, he will shoot me and I will die. I received no response. A little later, God said again, "Love." There were no other words, so I had no other choice. Whether the enemy would shoot or not, I followed God's voice and inspiration. I dropped my gun, took 1 step, 2 steps, walked over to the enemy and hugged him. The enemy then also dropped his gun and hugged me. We cried for 40 minutes. Only then was I able to see the face of the enemy clearly. He wore a cross necklace, so I told him, "I also believe in God." He said he also believes in God and that he's a Catholic. In the end, we both survived. Like this, God gave me a word that I could neither handle nor understand. However, because I obeyed his word in a situation where I would otherwise have died, I survived. God gives the word that people cannot understand. Even though he speaks in ways that we cannot understand with our thoughts, judgment, and in our current situations, we must act on God's words. Only then can we ultimately live and succeed. Thus, even though God, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Son, and Jesus speak of what is unfathomable, we need to live with absolute faith. At first, it may be difficult to believe because it's so tremendous. But once you take action, little by little, you will come to realize and understand. God surely fulfills his will according to his word. Even though God entrusts you with a big task, take action, for God's thoughts are higher than ours, like heaven is higher than the earth. Even though God entrusts you with a task that seems beyond understanding, you need to do it. Even if great tribulations come, do not be afraid. It is the work of God. God will do it. If this video inspired you, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.